another episode of the Dalton Academy Talk Show. My name is Dalton Grant, a three-time Olympian, former board director of London 2012 Big Team. Each week, me and my guests explore the mindset, determination, and focus it takes to become an elite. Gain the insight to the world of sports, film, and more. I'd like to say a Merry Christmas to everyone. COVID-19 and lockdown has taught us so much how to prepare for uncertainty. So what can I say? The Dalton Grant Academy show is here for the new year to kick off. Now, have I got a treat for you? Firstly, I'd like to give you the episodes that we've been doing previously. It's just about really giving an insight, what it takes to be successful. We had the likes of Linda Christie, John Barnes, Sharon Davis, Kieran Bracken, so many people, and I thank them so much for helping me. So now, in the new year, yes, it's a new year and we're raring to go. And please, if you have to, just do something. It's always better doing something than nothing. Even if it means one press up, one sit up each day, and then you feel like you need to do more, just do something. You need to take control of your life and be positive and be strong in whatever you do. My heart goes out to people who we lost in COVID, loved ones, family and friends. But let's put that behind us and let's deal with COVID-19 and take it forward by being positive. And I would like to say, I have a guest, two talented players, soccer players, footballers in the UK. They both play for Southampton. Yes, they're sisters. One plays for England and one plays for Wales. No further ado, we have Caitlin Morris and Ella Morris. Welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you.
Hey, how are you doing?
Not bad, thank you. And yourself?
Good, yeah, great. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
So, who should I start with? The young first or the older? Young, let's go for the older.
We'll go with the experienced one. I'll take the hit of the first one.
So give me an insight. You football now. Have you had a sporty family or was it, have you got any talent in your family? Because you've got two talented people here.
I'm sure my mum would probably say that we got all the good footballing skills from her. It's a frequent story that we hear about how good she was when she was younger. So I think she's probably passed on that to us. And my dad used to play rugby as well. So we're pretty fortunate with sort of a bit of a mix. But there was never really a debate with the football or rugby. It was always sort of pushed towards football.
Okay. So how did you find it though, having both sporty parents? Was it pressure? It wasn't pressure?
No, I don't think we've ever been pressured. We've been very lucky. I know both from a young age we played for Hampshire Centre of Excellence, so it involved a lot of travelling. We trained twice a week. Some of our away games were sort of 2-3 hours, and it was a massive commitment for my mum especially, did a lot of the driving to and from. So there's never been pressure. It's always just been a really good support system, and both my mum and my dad have always been just fully on board with whatever we've done and have been really good people to have behind us and backing us.
I think most of the pressure was on mum actually, driving to get us to training on time after school and stuff.
So who inspired you then, Ella? Would you say it was Caitlin?
Oh no, definitely it was Caitlin. I used to go and watch Caitlin train, and then I'd obviously be sat on the sidelines and I wanted to get involved. So Fawley Falcons and let me get in and play on their sessions, and then from there I just kind of carried on.
Wow. So let me know, is this a competitive family? Do you lot compete against one another? Is it like if you play cards or you're dancing or you're singing? What is it like?
Pretty much anything that can be turned into a competition gets turned into a competition, especially when the games come out. Although a lot of people would say it's me and my sister, the two most competitive. It's actually my mum. She's the worst one out of all of us for being 100%. Competitive. So I think we probably get that from her. But yeah, everything tends to turn into a competition in our household.
So it's great because both of you play for your country, but two different countries. How did that come about? That's really strange. So if I'm saying, Caitlin, you play for Wales and you play for England, Ella. Yeah?
Yeah, that's right. I think when we were both playing for Hampshire, I'd got to under 17s, and a girl that I played with had been called up to the Welsh squad, and obviously I was half Welsh. I sort of wanted a little bit more information around that. So I found out I went on my first under-19s camp in 2016. So I went on and I played in 2 European qualifying tournaments with them, one in Kazakhstan and one in Macedonia. I tore my ACL when we were away in Kazakhstan, so that was quite a big hit for me. So I was out for a season after that.
On your first camp?
No, it was the second qualifying tournament, so it was okay. I'd been in it for a while then.
Okay.
But that was the last time, actually, in 2017. That was the last time I played for the under-19s, and then last month I got my first call up to the senior squad, which is a great experience.
Senior, woo, well done, congratulations. Senior, got something to look up to now, Ella.
Yeah, I know. She won't stop reminding me she got her first senior call up before me.
So for yours now, so you end up playing for England. So how did that go about for you?
So similar to Caitlin, so I was playing Hampshire under 15s, I think it was, and then they have these national performance camps, so for like 13, 14-year-olds. So that's like the build up into the national squads. So I was selected to all of them in that season, and then from there I've just progressed through the age groups under 15. So I made my debut in Belgium in 2017. Then under 16s was like international tournaments. So we went to Italy and Norway. And then under 17s was the European under 17 championship. So I went there and we made it to the finals, but we knocked down the group stages and then just kept progressing through. And then on my first under 19s camp, I'd been called up off of standby because I wasn't under 18, but I'd been called up into the 19s for a tournament in La Manga. And then I tore my ACL there in March.
You know,
So we've had similar journeys.
I feel that we're knee buddies.
Yeah.
Same knee.
It's a bit of a joke, yeah.
Because I mean, I done my knee as well. It was really funny. I had the breast preparation of my life in 1999, and I had an operation on my patellar tendon. You know.
Yeah. I know we like made a bit of a joke about it. I think it was pretty identical. We were both like the same age. It was the same knee. We were both away.
You know, obviously you're just starting out. How do you handle it? So what is it apart? The injury. So is the difference? Is it a year apart? A couple of months? The injury between both of you?
It was. So I did mine in 2017, and you did yours what, 19?
No, 2020 March.
Yeah, so about
it's 3 years.
Yeah, 3 years different. So we were the same age. So yeah.
So have you helped one another with your experience of what you was going through? Because I got my experience when I injured by Roger Black, and he gave me. So I kept myself busy and kept myself focused. Because I didn't.
Yeah.
Because you know what it's like an athlete. If you can't play, you're sitting on the bench, or you're injured, you get very frustrated with yourself.
Yeah, definitely.
So the main thing is to kind of keep yourself busy and focused, and work on the parts that you can work with, the healthy parts. Of the body.
Yeah, I think it was nice for me to just reassure her and where I'd been through it, and I'd been in the rubbish parts and I'd been in the really tough parts, and I'd come out the other end. So just being able to. When Ella was in those dark parts and the rubbish parts, it was almost just I could be there and tell her, well, look, like I've gone through it, and then look at where I am now. So I think that's been quite a nice thing for me, is rather than not being able to relate to where she is. I don't know what you would say, but
yeah, no, definitely. You have supported me, but the worst part probably has been it being through lockdown. So I did it in March. I had my operation 24th of March, and then lockdown came into action. I think it was the 24th of March.
If people ain't training, that helps you in your recovery.
Yeah.
The only person that benefited out of the lockdown.
Yeah.
How would you say you're dealing with it? What's your plans ahead? Are you still thinking ahead, or you just dealing with the situation now at hand, what you can work with?
I feel that's kind of been my approach, deal with it as it comes. Because the more I look forward, the more. So I found myself setting goals, and almost goals that were too unrealistic. So I was like, oh, I want to run in 6 months, and then the physio was like, no, you need to work more in the gym to get your stability back. So that kind of sets me up for being disappointed. So I just set little goals as I go, like little weekly goals to try. So, my balance will be there by the end of the week, or no, I'm back running. Let's improve my 5K time this week from what it was the previous week. So I don't set myself up.
What you can do, Ella, is still have those goals, because you might prove them wrong. So have goals leading up to that big goal. So you never
Yeah.
know, because none of us are the same. Your recovery rate might be very fast, but obviously be patient and listen to your body. That is the key, and is advice as well. But I always have an open mind in what I do. I never ever. If people say you can't achieve, I'm saying why? Where do you get your proof from that I can't achieve?
Yeah.
Do you know anything about me? Do you know more about me than myself? It's like some people have told that they've had, problems where they might not be able to walk again, and they've proved wrong against the odds and they're walking again. Like there's a high jumper that I know, Jemmy Nito, as well. So always keep an open mind. Because I would say, everything's about opinions, and the most important opinion is your own personal opinion.
Yeah, no, definitely. I did at the start set myself a recovery time of 10 months, and everyone was like, oh, you need to wait 12 months, you need to wait 12 months. I've just had in my head, I'm not doing that extra 2 months. I want that 10 months recovery. So I'm still trying to get to that, but just not setting myself up to being too disheartened if I don't make it.
Yeah. But life is about experiences, and you're still young and you're learning now, and it's going to help you for the future. So it's better you're going through it early in your life and your career than in the latter part, really.
Yeah, better to do it now.
Yeah, out of the way now, hopefully, touch wood. That's it done.
So how have you been handling COVID then yourself?
It's been difficult, I think, especially with Southampton. We're very lucky to have a really good environment. So it's a really tight-knit group. We get top class coaching, all the S&C, and I think coming out of that, I mean, the club are very good still. They put on a lot of online sessions that we were able to do. It's not quite the same. So it's been a lot of running, which I'm not a massive fan of. I'll do it, but I'll moan about it a lot before. I know. So it's much nicer in the summer when we had nice weather. I've just been out this morning and got absolutely soaked. So it's not quite as easy in the winter, but it is hard. But I think it's just always looking for, we've got a mentality that when we do come back, everybody in the team needs to be in a position and a place where they're ready to hit the ground running. So it was very good in pre-season, where the majority of the girls have been very good with keeping their fitness up. So when we went back in, we were able to do a lot of ball work, which was obviously what everybody wanted to do rather than having to do your generic pre-season running. We'd almost done that in lockdown. So it's been hard, but I think it's just looking forward to post-lockdown and not trying to get too caught up on what's going on right this moment and just getting on with it until we're able to come out.
I mean, Southampton, very lucky to have two talented sisters. So how is it like being in a Southampton family? So it's obviously well known for their training in their academy and how successful they are. So what is it like for both of you being there? And how did you get to Southampton? Because obviously you started off differently, and it's really strange because your parents did have to run around and go, Ella's playing here first and Caitlin is playing there. And was it better for you to get you both in the same team, or it just happened like that?
So we were both at Hampshire. So that was overtaken by Southampton. So Southampton took over from the FA of the Centre of Excellence, and so I then joined the Southampton RTC, the Regional Talent Club, under 14s level, and Caitlin was living away at that point, weren't you?
Yeah, so I was at Hampshire from 8 to 16, so I spent most of my youth there, and that was very easy for my mum and dad in terms of the running around, because we'd always be playing
at the same
the whole of the Centre of Excellence would play the same game, so it was really easy. I think the biggest thing used to be if we were playing on pitches opposite side of field.
I'll go watch the first half and then I come watch your second half.
But unfortunately, when I finished in the under-17s, it was still the FA, so Southampton didn't actually have a women's team at that point, affiliated to the club. So I moved to Cardiff to go to college in Cardiff. So I played for Cardiff City Ladies for 2 seasons. And then when Southampton created the women's team, it's always been a dream of mine to play. We support Saints, so it's obviously a dream to play for the team you support. And I know that coming back, it was made very clear about the facilities and the coaching. And although the league we were in might have been a little bit lower than what Cardiff were, but what I was getting there was much better. And I was actually midway through my ACL rehab as well. So to come into that real professional environment to finish off, getting back from injury was a really big plus.
Brilliant. So like education, because Caitlin's 21, Ella's 17, am I right?
18, yeah.
18, sorry, just got it right. Was that
yeah.
I didn't do my homework properly. So what's like studying and doing sports then?
So I'm currently studying at Barton Peveril College.
Okay.
So I'm in my second year of college doing A-level psychology and BTEC sport. So it's really supported the college and really supported me as well. So they've allowed me time off if I've got a game or something, if I have training or I need to do a session, or if it's been a late night. So they've allowed me to do that. And then I'm just able to get my schoolwork done before training, which is good because I'm still able to get my education alongside playing football at a high level, which is what I want to do.
Brilliant. That's what you want to do. Wow. And Caitlin?
When I went to college, it was an integrated program. So I would train alongside my studies. So it was all on the same sort of facilities. So I really enjoyed that. I mean, I was training sort of 8 a.m. in the morning, doing some lessons, and then I was in the gym and training again. So that was an ideal sort of lifestyle. And then I'm at Solent University now. I'm studying football science. I've just gone into my third year. I think university has been very good. I'm part of a high performance athlete scheme thing, so I get a lot of support through them with if I need like deadlines or if I need a little bit of help around like my scheduling. They've been great with that, and they've got a new gym facility as well, which is always lovely. So it's good to be able to access that. So it's quite. I think we both had a lot of support around managing studies, and I know both our parents as well influence. It wouldn't ever be a case of saying, "Oh, don't worry about it." We've always been told, you need to study and you need to get
that backup
good
plan.
grades. Yeah,
something to fall back on. So tell me, university, because I just had two kids boys that just finished university, one at Norwich and at Canterbury.
Really?
Because I know the life of university. How are you handling it, Clayton? Because it is a different world, and I thought pressure was in sports, but my heart goes out to people in universities because there's a lot of pressure that people put on themselves.
I think I'm quite fortunate. It's a local university, so where I'd lived away, I'd done 2 years of living away for college. It kind of made sense to me to come back, and while I was playing for St. just to go to a local university, so I'm still living at home. So I mean, there's a lot of students I know that have got stuck in accommodation on their own, which I think it must be something really hard to deal with, and I've been fortunate enough to not have to go through that. And it's not really changed other than lessons now being online. So I'm still doing similar hours of contact time. It's just over the Zoom. My only issue is I'm rubbish with technology. I'm always having to ask people like, how do I do this and how do I get onto that? But other than that, it's been okay.
It's like Ella's thinking, you keep asking me.
I know.
Keeps asking me to help.
It's not my forte.
Okay. So Ella, looking up at your sister and she's gone on to university, do you see yourself going to university as well, or?
Currently, I'm not too sure. I've been interested in the sports journalism, maybe going into that, but currently it depends on football really, because where I would go to uni would determine, like if I stayed at Southampton, I wouldn't be able to go to a uni far away, so I'd have to stay locally like Caitlin. But in terms of courses, sports journalism is the only one I've really looked into, because my mum was a journalist, my granddad was a journalist as well, so it's something that I'd be quite interested in, like continuing the family.
Wow, brilliant. Wow. So what do you need to work on to improve yourself? Because obviously, what's the highest level you're looking at? Oh no, let me ask you, what successful player do you base yourself off now, Caitlin? Who would you say you?
It's a little bit of a niche one. I'm not sure everybody will know, but Jose Font was always a centre back that I really modelled myself off. So not necessarily in terms of where he's still playing top flight football now, but just in the way that he conducted himself on the pitch, that's someone I look up to. And then obviously looking in terms of accolades and awards and stuff, players like Steph Houghton, she's consistently been at the top of her game for years now, so she's somebody that it would be amazing to get to her sort of level.
Definitely. What do you think that made her different from the rest? What do you think she's bringing? Have you ever researched about her in depth?
I think a lot of off the pitch. So yes, you can be top of your field on the pitch, but actually what else do you bring? What do you bring in the changing room? What do you bring to the younger players coming through? And just that consistency. I think you get a lot of players who they're great players, but when you watch them, actually how consistent are they and how often do they play to that level? So that's something that I'd really like to develop and just be playing to my absolute top level as consistently as possible.
But you know what you're going to have to do? Fall in love with training.
Yeah.
Definitely.
That's the key. So embrace it. Don't work against it. Happened to me. I used to hate training. I was a person who always did the shortcuts. And it came to a stage where when I had to get onto that next level, you have to put the work in. There's no other way to get around. You ask yourself why, but you know why, because you want to be the best in that position or in the world. So as it gets on in the latter part of life, everything falls into place when improvement is micro improvements.
Yeah.
That is challenging. So yeah, it's good. So Ella, who do you see yourself?
Well, in the men's game, I'd say Carl Walker, just because his pace, that's something I really, when driving forward with the ball. Pardon?
Have you got pace?
Yeah.
Yeah, so much. They
got
didn't
the
split the pace genes equally at all. Like, she's got way too many. Needs to pass a few to me.
Yeah, so one of my attributes is running forwards with the ball at speed, which I really admire him for doing that, because if you just watch the game, it's like 90th minute, he's still sprinting to make that overlap to do a cross, which is something I really look up to. And then the women's game, obviously Lucy Bronze, again, both of them play right back, which is my position. She's just smashing it completely, winning all the top awards, the best women's player in the world currently. And she's doing that as a defender, which is really inspiring to look up to, because you never really see the defenders winning the big awards. It's normally the strikers that get all the credit. But for her to show as a defender she is still one of the best is pretty incredible.
So what have you achieved? Any awards this year?
Last season I won Players Player of the Year, and also the Fans Player of the Year as well with Southampton, which was pretty amazing for my second season with the club. So I was really proud of that.
Wow. And what did that contribute to, would you say? What made you come out there? Is it that impression that you wanted to make your second season? Are you that driven?
Yeah, definitely. I just want to prove myself. Coming into a squad full of experienced players who played in the top leagues, I just wanted to help the team as much as I could secure that promotion, which unfortunately COVID didn't allow us to get the promotion. But the same will be the same goal when I come back, help the team for promotion and keep helping the team as much as I can to win those games.
I love that the team is, even though you have to have an individual performance to stay on there, because the manager is not going to take one person or everybody off if you're not playing well.
No.
It takes the person who's not playing well. So it's nice that you're thinking of the holistic approach about the team as well. So Caitlin, so with your friends, how do you balance that? Because obviously playing sport at elite level, I should say, at your age, in your age group, how do you handle that with your friends and your social life?
It's quite difficult. Like I said, I'm very lucky that the team is, a lot of my best friends are within the team. So we spend a lot of time with each other. We sort of train 3 nights a week. We've got a game on a Sunday. So majority of my time is spent with them, which is nice. It's hard sometimes to balance the competitive edge in the friendship. So there's obviously a lot of the girls that are friends with each other that play in the same position. So as Ella's mentioned, I think everybody's got that desire for the team to do well. So yes, obviously you want to be playing, but actually if your friend is better suited for that game, then everyone understands that and sort of is like, well, if that's what it's going to take for the team to win, then that's what it'll take. And then outside of that, is obviously a social life is quite hard to balance when you're a student and you're training quite a lot. But it's okay. I mean, I fit it in where I can, and I'm quite lucky that my friends understand my other commitments. So it's never been any issues, and they're always quite happy to go out on a walk with me or something, and understand that if they're all going out down the pub, that it's not really something. I'll sometimes go and be the designated driver for everybody on the odd occasion. But no, it's okay, and you manage to fit it in. And like I say, I'm lucky that people understand and work around me sometimes, which is nice.
That's nice. I mean, for me, I find it hard to make friends with people in my event. Very hard. I couldn't, because they wanted to take away my goal, my dream. So it's very hard for me. I've gotten with a lot of people that I thought would have been good friends, and I knew I could have been very good friends with, but I couldn't, because you want that medal I want. So it's very hard. So I went out there and I trained for you. It's like, Ella and Caitlin, you be on my back, I'll be after you two.
Yeah.
That's what my mindset was. But now, retired now, it's good. We get to talk about the old days, you know, the things what we got up to together and so forth. So it's nice now when you look back, because obviously there's life after sports. So, Ella?
Yes, I've been quite lucky. My best friend, Caitlin Smith, she plays for. So we grew up playing for the same team together through Hampshire and then through Southampton. And then she left to join Chelsea Academy. Wow. But we're literally best friends, so I can talk to her about anything about football. So we have very similar goals.
Ella, what happened when Chelsea comes against Southampton in the
I know.
I
know. She gets it for the women.
Does friendship go on the back burner? How? Or
but it's also with us. If Wales and England ever played each other, I just think that competitive edge between us would just, with Caitlin and this Caitlin as well, would just.
Yeah, I think during the 90 minutes, you're not thinking about your friendships, you're thinking about we need to go and win. So friendships go out the window for that 90 minutes. It's okay to be right after the pitch, depending on the result.
And sisters out the window, because remember, you two might be playing against one another.
Way out the window. She'll be the first one that I want to tackle.
Okay, no, that's great. I mean, it's nice and great that you're giving that insight. So, how would you say any adversity in your life that you handle? I know apart from the knee injuries, anything else, what would you give to anyone, you know, to overcome adversity?
I think I've been very fortunate. There's not been any sort of major adversities in my life. I say we've always been really well supported, and we've been in sort of good club environments. I know when I lived away, I found it difficult sometimes. Obviously, I moved when I was 16. So I moved into a host family. So I was sort of having to find my way to and from training on my own, and sort of it's sometimes quite late at night. And I think talk to people. So I think I would sort of keep some of the worry about sort of trying to walk home from training at 11 o'clock at night to myself for a little while. And actually, when I spoke to people, the situation got sorted out. So I think rely on those people that you do have around you to help you through things, and don't keep everything to yourself, because actually sometimes problems that you think are a really big issue, when you talk to somebody else, it makes it seem much smaller.
That's right. And that's why it's important in life, even though the time is different, but still someone has to make it in that time. So that's when the experience comes. Obviously, we might not be able to relate to you because what you're going through is different, but obviously experience will give you a little input and then you use it to the best advantage. So, Ella?
For me, it was really, I wasn't at the level. I felt myself slipping away from everyone else at my age. So I wasn't necessarily making the starting 11s. I just felt when we were playing games, I was like a step behind everyone else. So for me, it was really about hard work. And I had to make the most of the resources that I had. So in my local park, it was just going down there every few nights when I had the chance to do my own sessions. So I had a bounce board and a couple of balls, and I had to make use of that. So if I want to work on my crossing, I'd just be going down the park, crossing the ball, and then having to chase back after it because I didn't have anyone else to go with me. So it was just working hard to find myself. And then eventually that started to pay off, and I was getting into the starting 11, which is now that got me. Before my injury, I felt like I was at the best point in my life playing.
Lovely. I mean, I love that. And that's what it's about, self-reflect. And I found out that to balance yourself, you work on your weaknesses. Because if you keep working on your strengths, it's an imbalance. And when you work on your weaknesses, it really challenge you.
That's the hardest part.
Yeah, and you go out there. And that's the way, that's the key. Sometimes you need alone time to reflect on information, whether it's working on your diet, whether it's working on your stretching, whether it's working on your mindset and visualizing. And sometimes role play various situations and see how people react. Because let's say sport is all about intelligence. It's really about outsmarting people, you know, and not letting no one get to know you really well.
No.
She's on that psychology, so we know that.
Yeah, I know all about it.
So what I would like to do now, because we're getting school to wrap up, and it's brilliant, I want to give you one wish. What would your wish be?
Ooh.
Win the Ballon d'Or.
Okay, Ella's taking it before you. Thank you, Kathleen. All right, then, let's go. Ella, what was you saying?
Win the Ballon d'Or, be the best player in the world.
Like that. No
I'm not
pressure.
sure how I can top that one. I think a little bit more modest, but I just want to fulfill my whole potential, and not let anything like get in the way of that. So I know where I want to be and like get into that, and no matter what that looks like and what hurdles I have to overcome to get there, but to just fulfill my potential.
That's good. But always remember, the journey is the journey. Doesn't matter how you get there, but there's the light always waiting at the end of the tunnel. And it's how we handle situations that determine how we get on in life and a whole. And there's other things that you can do outside, away from sports, that balances you in sports as well. Because sometimes you have to come out of that environment, because once you get to that level where I say micro improvement and so forth, it could be so much. So you know how to, use that energy and deflect it from the stress. Sometimes it's not always going over and over and over and over and over. You can't get out. You got to go stand back and look from a distance sometimes. But I'd like to say, thank you so much, Caitlin, and thank you so much, Ella,
Thank you.
for your insight. And I hope that you have I know you're going to have a successful career. And I'll be waiting for my autograph soon. Yeah? So just remember, my autograph from Caitlin.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, thank you. It was really insightful as well.
You're welcome. So, okay. Thank you for watching, and I hope that you enjoyed this episode with Caitlin Morris and Ella Morris. Two talented young players. Look out for them in the future. I am. So please follow. Southampton Football Club, Wales, and also England. Yeah. That's around.